Welcome to Murder with the Missus. I'm Darren.
And I'm Amy. And today we're going to tell you about Veronica Butler and Jilian Kelley.
And don't forget to check us out on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, and Podbean. And go check us out on Facebook where we post the pictures of all of our cases. And make sure you guys like, subscribe, and hit the little notification bell to see all the new episodes when they drop. And always tell your friends.
A nasty custody battle, a murder plot, and a man named Squirrel. If you haven't heard of this case, then you have no idea what I'm talking about. But this is another one that is in the headlines. It is in Oklahoma, so we've been getting questions as to whether we've heard of it before.
Squirrel.
Nice. But people do ask us, have you heard of this? And I think that's funny because, well, I love people. I've been watching it, and it is one that I've wanted to wait until there's a trial or something, but we'll give the people what they want. Veronica Butler was a 27-year-old mother of 2 kids. She was a CNA, which is a certified nursing assistant, and she was a member of the Church of Hugoton in Kansas, and I hope I'm saying that right. She helped out with the youth group and kids on Wednesday night. Now, she never actually married the father of her children, Wrangler Rickman, but they were in a custody battle that had been going on since 2019. There were allegations in this case that Veronica failed to protect the kids from her brother, who they accused of sexual assault. Not the kids, the father's family. And these are accusations. That doesn't mean that they were founded or unfounded, but the court has to take these into consideration when deciding the safety of the children. Also, Veronica had left Oklahoma and went to Kansas, which is a no-no when you're in the custody battle. So she was only allowed supervised visitation on Saturdays. Even this one day a week made the kids' paternal grandmother, Tiffany Adams, very angry. She had the kids at the time because Wrangler was in rehab. The court records in this case have been sealed in light of recent events, but I'm taking information from the arrest affidavits that were recently filed. The visitation schedule had been in place since December of 2022, but the court had to reinstate it in November of 2023 because Tiffany refused to allow Veronica to take the kids on her day. Wrangler had even had to call the cops on Tiffany before because she wouldn't let him have the kids, and he's the one who had custody of them. This was his own mom. But when the cops came, they decided that the kids were better off with Tiffany, and they're allowed to refuse to intervene. I would have to think that since this was prior to him going into rehab, he may have been showing signs of his drug use, and they had to make that call. Veronica had filed motions in this case in March of this year, requesting more frequent visitation, and the next hearing was set for April 17th of 2024. Her lawyer believed that this would be granted and that she would possibly be able to have unsupervised visits.
One of the approved supervisors was the 39-year-old Jilian Kelley.
Yes. Now, Jilian had 4 kids of her own and was married to the pastor. She was the secretary of the church too, so she was involved and was happy to help Veronica with visitation when needed. She supposedly had like a person, and then she had 3 other people that she could select in case that one person couldn't be there. So the original supervisor on this day was told by Veronica to just take a couple of weeks off and Jilian could do the supervising. So on March 30th, Veronica and Jilian head to Oklahoma Panhandle to pick up the kids for a birthday party. They didn't come back, so family went to look for them and ended up calling in law enforcement. They had found their abandoned car, but no women, and the police said that there was foul play evident at the scene. And I will tell you the story based on the arrest affidavits so that you have the information straight from the source. The suspects are Tiffany Adams, 54, and she is the paternal grandmother. Tad Cullum, 43, who is Tiffany's boyfriend. Cole Twombly, 50, who is just a friend. His wife, Cora, who's 44 and also obviously a friend. And then you have the 5th wheel, Paul Grice, who's 31. So here's the timeline. On March 30th at 9 a.m., the 2 women leave Hugoton, Kansas. At 9:40, they arrive at Highway 95 and Road I. Note that this is actually 5 miles north of where they were supposed to meet, which was on Highway 95 and US 64. Immediately, within 2 minutes, their cell phones stopped transmitting. Now, spoiler, these phones have not been found. At 12:09, Veronica's family called the police after, like we said, finding their car abandoned on the side of the road on Highway 95. By 7:29 p.m., they issued endangered missing persons alerts for the women. On March 31st, the OSBI, which is the Oklahoma State Bureau of Investigations, is there and helping. The next day on April 1st, OSBI got a search warrant for Tiffany's phone. And I mean the whole phone, not just the records and stuff. April 4th, the OSBI called in the FBI. April 12th, Tad, Tiffany, Cole, and Cora are charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder, 2 counts of kidnapping, and 1 count of conspiracy to commit murder. They are all arrested the next day on the 13th. No bond is set for them. And Tiffany immediately gave statements to the investigators after her arrest, indicating that she was responsible for the deaths of these 2 women. On April 14th, 2 bodies are sent to the ME for identification and examination. And 2 days later, they are identified as Veronica and Jilian. A shocker comes on April 24th when a 5th person is arrested in the case, and that is the 5th wheel, Paul Grice. Now, we can talk about the details and fill in the blanks.
Now, I've heard all these names
Right.
that you've listed off.
Lots of names. Yes.
Half a dozen or more.
Right. Lots of people.
Where the hell's Squirrel at?
Where's Squirrel?
Which one of these people is Squirrel?
I'm going to break your heart. None of these people are Squirrel.
Then where the hell's Squirrel?
He gonna come in.
Oh, okay.
Don't worry. I'll get there. Now, when police came onto the scene of the abandoned car, the foul play that they were talking about is blood that they found on the road south of the car near a broken hammer and Veronica's glasses. A magazine for a pistol was in Jillian's purse, but there was no pistol found at the scene. Tiffany told OSBI that the kids had spent the night at another couple's house that Friday night on March 29th, and she was supposed to pick them up that morning for visitation. Tiffany called Veronica at 9 a.m., and Veronica said that something had come up and she wasn't going to make it. Call records showed that there was a call at this time, but of course it can't tell us what was said. But when that call was made, Veronica was actually picking Jilian up to go to get the kids. So, pretty sure that's a lie. Tiffany picked up the kids from the sleepover at noon. Wrangler is said to be on recordings talking about death threats from Tiffany and Tad. And Wrangler's grandmother said that Wrangler told her at the end of February that they didn't have to worry about the custody battle much longer because Tiffany had it under control. That Tiffany, quote, knew the path the judge walked to work, and, quote, we will take out Veronica at drop-off. And Wrangler, of course, denies ever saying that.
Of course he did.
Right.
So where's Squirrel?
He's coming. Hang on.
Okay.
I'm reading through the arrest affidavits, and they are all over the place most of the time, so.
Squirrel?
Nope. Tiffany's phone records showed that she did web searches for taser pain level, gun shops, prepaid cellular phones, and how to get someone out of their house, which to me is one of the stupidest things to Google.
How to get somebody out of their house?
How do you get somebody out of their house?
Was she negotiating?
No, we'll see later why she Googled that, but just the fact that you Google it, you can't come up with any ideas of your own?
Smoke bombs.
Okay. A little amateur.
Don't use
FBI.
that. I'm just
Don't do that.
joking.
You're corrupting our youth.
Sorry.
Here's where they really get important pieces to the puzzle. On April 3rd of 2024, 16-year-old CW, the daughter of Cora, said that she overheard conversations between all 5 suspects talking about Veronica not protecting the kids from her brother. They told CW that they had been involved in the deaths of the 2 women. She said that Tiffany had given them burner phones. She even saw 2 of the phones charging on Cora's nightstand. She said that all 5 of them were part of God's Misfits and had weekly meetings either at Cora's house or the house where the kids had stayed the night on that Friday night.
God's Misfits.
Yeah.
Well, sounds like we're about to meet Squirrel.
Yes.
Is that like a cult?
Yeah.
God's Misfits? Is that like a cult?
It's funny you should say that because I feel it would have to be, right?
Kind of, yeah.
But I've seen Squirrel.
Oh, yeah? Did he look like a squirrel?
He did not, no.
Do you remind you of a squirrel?
Nope.
Like he likes to pack nuts in his cheek?
I can't say he doesn't like to do that, but but your rate is over. Here we go. God's Misfits is a ministry, and the founder of this religion did an interview with Nancy Grace and only goes by the name Squirrel. He said he is not affiliated with these people and he doesn't have chapters in his ministry. It's just him and his wife spreading the word on social media. They are also anti-government, but he made it clear that his religion doesn't condone murder. So they're not a cult. They're only two people, a man and his wife, chilling at home, talking about Jesus on Facebook.
It says misfits.
Yeah, because there's two of them. So he can be plural.
I gotcha.
But it appears that apparently Tiffany and Tad and Cora and Cole, Paul too, and the two people that the kids stayed the night with all would gather in this church's name every week and have these meetings. But Squirrel didn't know nothing about it.
Yeah, but didn't you say like they had the Facebook page and they didn't realize how many people they had following them?
He actually said in this interview, I just found out we are nationwide.
Yeah, whatever. I mean, I go on our page and I can see exactly how many people follow us, like us,
and where they're from.
Everything. I mean, I can see everything.
Thanks, UK.
Yeah. Thanks, UK. Yeah. Thanks, Australia.
Yay! Hey, I'm gonna tell an Australian story.
Oh yeah,
we got one coming up, so you guys look out for it.
Yeah, that's a nice one.
You probably already know it, but we're gonna tell it to the rest of the world.
Back on track. Back to Squirrel.
Yeah, let's know we're done with Squirrel.
Oh, we're done with him?
Yeah, he denies anything to do with it.
That was a whole lot of hype for just a little bit of Squirrel.
I know. I had to give you something to play with.
No.
I had to dangle something shiny in your face.
Man.
I know. Big old letdown.
That Squirrel was going to be like number one suspect.
No, not yet.
Oh.
I'm just kidding. Squirrel. Mm-hmm. I'm sure you didn't have anything to do with it.
Yeah, you just keep guiding God's misfits. You and your wife. Get her done. Okay, back to CW. So she said that on March 29th, that Cole and Cora told her that they wouldn't be home when she woke up the next morning because they were going on a mission. When she woke up at 10, they were, in fact, not home. They had left in two separate trucks and returned in the two trucks at about noon. They told her to clean the inside of one of the trucks because things didn't go as planned. But they wouldn't have to worry about her anymore, her being Veronica. And what the fuck are you doing making your 16-year-old clean your murder truck? Exactly. What the fuck was they thinking?
They're not very good thinkers.
And this was who?
This was the daughter of one of the people that murdered these two women.
Yeah, but I mean, that's who cleaned.
Yeah, the daughter did, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they came home and was like, clean my truck. I'm just picturing them like tossing their keys at her. Clean my truck.
That was Cole and Cora that made her do it?
Yes, her parents. Well, Cora's her mom. Cole's not her dad.
Well, Cole and Cora, you're idiots.
You're dumb. You're dumb. These people. The story that they told her was that Cora and Cole had blocked the road to stop the women and divert them to where Tiffany, Tad, and Paul were waiting. So that's why they stopped 5 miles from where they were supposed to be going that day. And CW did ask them why Jilian had to die. And Cora said she wasn't innocent either because she supported Veronica. CW asked if their bodies were put in a well, and Cora said something like that. Cora also told her that they tried to kill Veronica in February, but she didn't leave her house. Remember the searches?
Oh, yeah.
That Tiffany made? How to get someone to leave their house?
Somebody to leave their house. Good Lord.
Yep. Yes. So the plan was, and this is another shiny piece of information for you.
Yeah.
The plan in February, and I shit you not because you can't make this shit up, was to throw an anvil through Veronica's windshield while she was driving to make it look like an accident because, quote, anvils regularly fall off of work vehicles.
What is this?
What in the Wile E. Coyote cartoon?
I was like, what is this, freaking Looney Tunes?
Apparently, that's a thing. This is what they think happens.
Oh, my gosh. Meep, meep.
Exactly. So when you talk about them being dumb, yeah, they're dumb. They're dumb.
I have to dodge anvils, several times a week
right.
Here in Oklahoma.
Right.
We have those, caution signs up on the side of the road and everything. Watch out for falling anvils.
You never know. You never know. Like, are there a bunch of blacksmiths just driving around the panhandle all willy-nilly?
Yeah, see, it's like the anvil and the little bird, and it's got like the little smoke out the tail end of him.
Because he's fast, yeah.
He's fast, yeah. So we meet.
Like, when I first read that, I was like, this is not serious. This can't be serious, but it is. This is 100% that was what their plan was.
It says real big across them, Acme.
Acme, yeah.
Acme.
We do have that secret factory over there in the Panhandle.
Actually, we have Acme over in Muskogee.
Oh, God.
we literally
I was kidding.
Do. No, we literally do. It's Acme. It's glass company.
Okay. Yeah. So they're not making anvils.
Yeah, they could be.
Maybe they should make some anvil-proof glass for windshields on cars.
Maybe they did.
So that may not have even worked that time either if you had that anvil-proof glass.
Between Squirrel, Wile E. Coyote, Roadrunner, Anvils, Looney Tunes.
Yeah.
Ooh.
We're obviously telling an Oklahoma story.
Where is, was it Porky Pig?
What do you mean, where is he?
Where's he at? Oh, it's going to be at the end of the story. That's all, folks.
So back on March 23rd, Tiffany had bought 5 stun guns from a gun shop in Guyman, Oklahoma. And before that, on February 13th, she bought 3 prepaid cell phones from Walmart in Guyman.
Yes, Guyman's actually a town.
Yeah, I just can't get my mouth to say it. But remember, this was in February. They tried to kill her in February. Wrangler's grandma had said that they told her in February that she wasn't going to be a problem anymore. So all this is adding up from multiple different sources. So I don't know why they think that they'll believe them when they say, no, we weren't doing that. Now, all 3 of these phones were powered on and accessed the cell network for the first time near Tad's home at different times, but all before the women disappeared. The phones were at or near Tad's house just before and after the disappearance. On March 30th, between 10:16 and 10:35, 2 of the phones were located at a leased property. So this was a neighboring piece of land to some land that Tad owned. He supposedly leased some land from a neighbor for cattle grazing. A man-made earthen dam, so it's made out of earth. It's not like a big concrete dam or anything. It's just an earth-made dam is on that property. And they said that Tad used a skid loader and made this hole with a dam above it for a runoff, likely for the cows. But this hole was 10 feet deep. Concrete was moved from a location near the landowner's home, approximately 150 to 200 yards away, and put into the hole. Then it was filled in with dirt and covered with hay. And yes, if you put 2 and 2 together, this is the hole where the bodies were found, at the bottom. So they had dug this hole, saying it was for cows, put the bodies in there, piled concrete on top of them, and then piled dirt on top of that and put hay on top.
Well, yeah, I mean, because, if they would have actually, had dead cows on top of them.
Dead cows? No dead cows.
No, I'm just saying.
Oh.
Because if you dig a hole 10 feet deep.
Yeah.
For cows.
Well, not for dead cows. It was to make a pond for the cows on that property. That's too damn deep
for a fucking cow.
Because it wasn't for that.
I understand that, but the whole, never mind. I ain't going to give away that because that'd be a whole nother fucking murder.
Don't give people ideas.
Yeah.
It's really hard sometimes for me to say things like,
I wasn't thinking of a watering hole.
Well, that's when somebody would ask, hey, what are you digging over there? Because it's some guy's land.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, just a place for the cows to have something to drink on this side of the property.
On your land. Doing you a favor, bud.
Yeah. Well, he's leasing it. So I guess he's like,
Whatever.
I own it now. I can do what I want.
Even if you lease.
Yeah. It's still not your land.
You have to get owner's permission
and
to do something like that.
And that's probably why he told them that. It was like, oh, hey, I just want to build this pond. And that guy didn't realize it was going to be, number 1, a murder hole, and number 2, 10 feet damn deep.
Yeah.
And I can speculate that his intent was to lay the hay on top because a patch of fresh dirt is glaringly obvious, right? When cops come looking. But if you put hay on the ground and the cows come to eat it, they'll trample that down. So it's no longer fresh dirt. So that seemed like something he might have been doing too.
Well, yeah, I mean, it just makes it look like they was grazing.
Right. And it would help cover up the fact that they had just dug this big hole. But what do you do?
All prepaid phones stopped transmitting on the morning that the women went missing, some near Cole and Cora's house and some at the landowner's property.
Right. So only 2 of them, if you'll remember, went and buried them. The women went back to the house, but 2 of them went to that property that they were leasing. So on April 13th, a search warrant was executed at the landowner's property, and the bodies were found, of course. This was 8.5 miles from where the car was found. And as you may have noticed, the core 4 were arrested at once, but Paul wasn't. It's not stated anywhere as to why he wasn't arrested with them. Obviously, he was mentioned in CW's story, so she had told them about Paul on April 3rd, and they knew that 5 phones were purchased, and there are 5 suspects, if you include Paul. Some reports say that he has ties either through friends or family up in Alaska, and he may have gone that way after the murders, so they couldn't get to him until they could find him. He did come in for questioning on April 23rd, and since he doesn't know when to shut the fuck up, luckily, he admitted to being involved in the whole thing and finally got arrested. He did write a long-ass manifesto type thing saying he's not a U.S. citizen, he shouldn't be, made to go by U.S. laws, he is governed by his soul. I don't know, he was saying a bunch of dumb shit in that. And there's also rumors running about in the Panhandle that Tad and Tiffany are land rich. Like, they don't necessarily have a lot of cash laying around, but they have valuable working land. But I looked into the tax records and couldn't find any tax records under either of their names in Texas or Cimarron counties. And those are the 2 furthest counties in the Panhandle. And that doesn't mean that they're not in a trust or company's name. I was just looking for my own curiosity. I also looked up how they get phone data from untraceable prepaid phones to put them at all these locations at all of these times. But I guess they had the phone numbers. I don't see that they had the actual phones, just that the affidavit said that they were able to obtain phone numbers. All of these prepaid phones, even if it says like track phone or whatever, I don't know anything about prepaid phones, but the Google says that they lease use of major carrier towers, which I knew that, or they are owned by these major carriers. And all the cops need is the phone number or IMEI number, whatever it has, and they can track the phone just like a regular phone. It's not always like it is on TV, folks. And that is where the case is, waiting for trials. It's a sad story. And like I said, the child custody case is sealed, so we don't know if the sexual abuse allegations were ever investigated. But Veronica's lawyer said he highly believed that Veronica was about to get more visitation and have the supervision stipulation released. So it sounds like it was likely unfounded. And that is seen a lot. Allegations will help you have the upper hand in a court case, but it just puts a dark cloud over actual abuse. If too many people cry wolf just to get what they want, then actual victims are put through the ringer to have to prove their case. And they're often not believed at all because judges see this time and time again. Plus, it kind of puts kids in a position to have to be coached, to be fed lies that they have to repeat. It's just sad. If there was abuse, then I'm glad that the courts thought they were keeping the kids safe. But for grandma to then murder their mother, why not the abuser? I'm not saying that it is right or wrong either, but it would have made more sense. And don't get me started on poor Jilian. She was just trying to help a friend. They will have a status hearing on May 15th, I think, but we won't have any updates like a trial or anything for a while. Oklahoma usually has a very slow turning judicial system. But we will update this when there's more to say because these women too deserve justice.
Well, there you have it.
Darren was sad about Squirrel.
Yep. We had Squirrel. We had Acme. Anvils,
yeah.
Wile E. Coyote, Roadrunner, Oklahoma. You guys tune in next time for the next one. And make sure you guys tell your friends. Later.
Bye.